Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Straight Talk. In this episode, we're here at our Istanbul office with Cameron Deggin. Cameron, how are you?
I'm very well, Alaattin. How are you?
I am doing very well also. It's the weather's amazing.
Yes.
There are really nice positive vibes. And things are going great in our office especially. We've been having so many meetings about so many subjects that would concern us. As yesterday, one of my favorite meetings did happen. It was the portfolio meeting.
Oh, yes. That's an important one.
Right, where we have seen the market from the eyes of the clients, from the eyes of the people who are interested in Turkey, and we have revised our portfolio strategy a little bit. In that, I said, since we've done that meeting yesterday, why don't we come onto this table and talk about what is going to be our
what we came
outlook.
up with.
Yes, what we came up with.
Essentially what we came up
right,
with. Right,
essentially what we came up with. Cameron, would you like to talk to us a little bit about our methodology of identifying what people are interested in? How does our website act in that? And what do you think as the people are inclined towards these times?
For us, to be able to place ourselves in the best position to give the best advice, we first of all need to understand what the requirements of our potential clients are.
Right.
What is it that they're looking for? Why are they coming to Turkey in terms of real estate investment? Is it a need or is it a want? Now, these two are very, very separate things. For some clients, it's a need-based investment, such as citizenship by investment. Turkey offers a solid citizenship by investment program, which is relatively speaking affordable compared to many other countries. So that satisfies a need.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then, what they want truly is to get the Turkish citizenship, but at the same time, they want to make sure that they have made a viable investment that will reward them handsomely, and more importantly, that will be easy to exit should they wish to exit the market in 3 to 4 years' time.
Right.
And then we have another sort of category of client who is more lifestyle motivated. They're looking for a home. Mm-hmm. Rather than an investment. What we do, Alaattin, as you very well know, is we kind of tend to go with concepts rather than areas. We try to identify what the relevant concepts are for real estate investment, either for investment or for lifestyle.
Yeah.
So this then requires you to keep a very firm eye on where the real estate market in Turkey is and what the future holds for investors, not just in Turkey, but globally. So having said all that, what we feel right now, the forefront concepts for our client base is one, urban regeneration city center, low entry level for investors. Mm-hmm. So if we're dealing with a client who gives us the signals that really and truly their main driver is a viable investment, rather than an emotional purchase, then we try to offer city center generally. What are the reasons for that? The way Istanbul grew over the last 4 decades, attracting urban migration from central Anatolia and unfortunately, creating inner city ghettos and certain shabby districts. However, with the urban regeneration happening now in Istanbul, and we can clearly see the next 5 to 10 years, I foresee that Istanbul is going to start playing a very similar pattern to cities like London, cities like New York, cities like Paris, where the city centers are going to be a concentration of more expensive properties. You will find a center of Istanbul, center of the city, with the most desirable properties, generally smaller dwellings, not so suitable for larger families, but more suitable for young city slickers and professionals, 1-2 bedroom apartments. And then as people sort of decide to set up families, as the size of their families grow, obviously they need much bigger spaces. But guess what? City center is expensive. So maybe affordability may not be there. So they'll start moving out toward the peripheries of the city. Now, what does that mean in 5 years' time, 10 years' time for an investor coming into the market today? Well, that means that the city center of Istanbul is going to be elevated further and further.
Mm-hmm.
So, urban regeneration, city center is still my number one advice for investment, purely for investment.
Cameron, just to support your argument there, Istanbul, as I see, is pretty unique in that regard.
Yes.
Because I don't know any other city that is as developed as Istanbul that has this many urban regeneration zones
Yes.
identified within its city center alone.
Yes.
Once you have a massive center, Istanbul is a pretty big center. It's not a small center. It's made up of 5, 6, if not 7, 8 different districts, and it's a place where 4 or 5 million people live. I mean, all the way from Şişli to Fatih to Kadıköy to Üsküdar. All of these
There
places
are
are
several
urban
centers, in
regeneration
fact,
areas.
yes.
100%. And from time to time, the importance shifts from one area into another one. There are more projects being launched in certain areas,
Yes.
and certain areas are brought to the forefront by the municipality and the strategic planning of the city than the others. And those are the areas that we tend to capitalize on. Now, would you like to elaborate on what are some of the areas that we are focusing on for the immediate gains? And immediate in that sense would be short-term real estate gains, which is 3 to 4 years' time. What would be some of those areas that we are focusing on?
As I said, the center of the city is and most certainly will become the most pricey part of the city by far.
All right, let's go down Cameron Deggin's list.
In between the old city and the new city, where the Golden Horn is, what we call the Little Bosphorus. There are a lot of shabby areas there. Why? Because through the urban migration from 60s all the way to mid to late 90s, that area grew like that. But it did not grow in a structured, organized, desirable way. It grew in a very haphazard way. Majority of the properties in that area today are not earthquake compliant. So number one regeneration zone.
Okay.
And the fact that there are a lot of warehouses, a lot of factories that have to uproot and leave the city center by law, regeneration is going to be rather rapid in those areas. The faster the regeneration, the faster the price uplift. So that area, from an investment viewpoint, in my opinion, now is number one.
True. And just to support your argument there, it's not just a regeneration of the residential and the industrial zones alongside the banks of Golden Horn. There is also a revitalization of the entire area by the municipality itself, which would uplift the face of the area. And in one of the previous episodes, we talked about pacemakers. We talked about areas where you would set as your Jupiter that you would orbit around.
Exactly.
And as they grow in importance, so are your investments as well. And from that perspective, I regard Haliç, Golden Horn, or the Little Bosphorus, as we call it, area, as a very unique opportunity that exists in 2023. What are some of the other areas that you see that are going to reward the investors in the upcoming years?
Kağıthane, still. Kağıthane is now almost 50% regenerated. Particularly the Gendry Avenue, the main avenue that cuts all the way toward Maslak and then joins up to the main motorway that goes to the new airport, Istanbul Airport. That avenue is fully regenerated.
Right.
Looks good, looks pretty, modern, contemporary. But what happened to the prices? The prices doubled since 2018. Doubled. However, you move away from Gendry Avenue toward Levent. You go up that hill, and then you go down the hill, it's Levent, the business district. You're looking at a couple of kilometers, not more than that. Yet, the area that is sandwiched in between Cendere, Kağıthane, and Levent is still very shabby. It's still very chubby because that's the second stage of regeneration. That particular part of Kağıthane, I still say, is as good as the Little Bosphorus because there are a lot of very old estates and very old, shabby neighborhoods, almost like ghettos, in that hill, like Gültepe area and a few other areas that, do you know what? I don't even want to drive through.
Right.
At night.
Right.
However, I know what's about to happen there. If we have a time machine today and we fast forward not even 10 years, 5 years, and I take you to that part, you will not recognize what you will see.
100%.
And that's exactly why you invest there today.
Let me support you there also. Maybe, well, I know what you're saying. Maybe for the audience who has been watching us for the first time, they wouldn't be able to make sense of the area. But I'd like to say this to help your argument there. Yes, the area does look shabby, but there are the beginnings already of that urban regeneration, which means that there are projects that have been finished and completed, and that are the ones that are up and coming. In fact, we do have our own project that is being built.
Since Levent is there.
And that's why it's there. In that particular area. That's why it's there. So we have seen the make. It's set in motion.
It's already in motion.
Yes. And apart from Kağıthane,
I'd say Fikirtepe on the Asian side is still up there because Fikirtepe is very, very central on the Anatolian Asian side of Istanbul. It's right next to Kadıköy. In fact, it's almost part of Kadıköy, but it is also next to Istanbul Finance Center, which is about to become the next big thing in Istanbul.
Right.
Already is becoming. So that particular area has a lot of growth potential still, and there is still a lot of regeneration to happen. So that is an area
I am a big fan of Fikirtepe. I love the area. One of the reasons why I love the area is because there is an unprecedented urban regeneration effort that is being going on there, that is being supported by the government themselves, by the biggest developers of the entire country. It's not just knocking down old buildings and building them up like the one in the Little Bosphorus or in Kağıthane. You're talking about new roads, new bridges, new highways, new schools, new green areas, parks. It's a total regeneration.
Let me see where else I would go. You were talking about Basın Express, Media Highway.
Oh,
I know you like Basın Express. I know you like Basın Express.
Right.
You won't lose. I agree with you.
Right.
Look, I tell you why I don't personally. I don't necessarily see Basın Express as doing that because right next to Basın Express, and in fact part of Basın Express Media Highway is Bağcılar. Bağcılar is a massive municipality.
Right.
However, how do you regenerate Bağcılar? How long will it take to regenerate Bağcılar? Because Bağcılar, unlike the main avenue of Basın Express, which was all depots, warehouses, factories, bang, easy to regenerate. Bağcılar is all thousands, if not millions of single dwellings. So how do you go about regenerating, negotiating with hundreds or thousands of people, getting all that they're buying, agreeing what you're going to take, what you're going to give? It's a nightmare. So Bağcılar area, in my opinion, which requires regeneration massively because majority of the stock in Bağcılar is non-earthquake compliant. How do you pass such massive scale regeneration through an area like Bağcılar when you're dealing with hundreds or thousands of key holders? It will take ages unless the government comes up with a new regulation to push them out. And that regulation isn't there yet. So we need to keep a very, very solid eye on what is going on with urban regeneration. If next month, 6 months down the line, Parliament comes up with a new law to make urban regeneration almost an obligation rather than a must-have, rather than a good-to-have, then, oh my God, Bağcılar, never mind Media Highway, Bağcılar itself will become the foremost investment zone of Istanbul.
I agree with you
Bağcılar.
there. Great points. That regulation is there already, yet there isn't enough money for that.
Huh.
The requirement is about 100B. They were able to secure about 50, and there's another 50 that they're trying to secure because you need money more than the regulations for this.
Anyway, so that's that. So now that's the first concept, which for the past 5 years, I've pretty much championed this concept. And I have not yet found any other concept in Istanbul, at least, to replace urban regeneration city center, what I call affordable luxury.
Right.
Affordable luxury, city center, mainly urban regeneration zones. For me, that's still number one for investment.
Yeah. Anyway, this has been a good episode. Areas to look out for to invest.
We were supposed to, because yesterday at our portfolio meeting, we identified, four, I think.
Four, yeah.
4 main categories, which we then wrote into concepts.
Right.
Okay. But we started with the first one, city center, affordable luxury city center, urban regeneration. We couldn't move to the second, third, or fourth.
Yeah.
We got stuck on the first one.
Yeah.
So it appears that each one of those categories will have to have an episode of their own.
Music to my ears.
Oh my God.
Yeah, of course it is.
Is this because we just cannot stop talking? In other words, we just cannot be sharp, short, to the point?
Right.
Or is it because these subjects themselves warrant more expansion and detailed investigation?
You have two options. You either come in front of the camera and say, guys, invest in Little Bosphorus, Kağıthane, Fikirtepe, oh, thank you, and go. Or,
nice country, why don't you buy?
Nice country, nice project, why don't you buy? You either do this, okay, or you just give the care and attention that the subject in the area requires.
I like that.
Right.
I like care and attention.
Which is what we have done. Cameron Deggin, is there any other area that you would like to add briefly within the zone? I'd say, let me put on this
Go
one.
on, man.
I would say Şişli and Beşiktaş areas.
Very hard to find anything.
I know, but remember, if
Prices
or when we find them, or rather, better still. Now, I don't want to spoil the surprise, but if we create them, those opportunities ourselves within these locations, those are the things that will yield highly in Beşiktaş and Şişli.
I hear what you're getting at.
Yeah, there's something coming.
Alaattin is about to...
Don't spoil it.
Let the rabbits out of the hat.
Don't spoil it.
However,
we've been working on it for a while
now because we haven't yet put the final signature on that rabbit.
Yes.
So let's put the signature, then we let it out of the hat. Let's not speak too soon.
Yeah.
But, he's right, in fact. Beşiktaş and Şişli, although they're the most central parts of European center of Istanbul, and generally finding good investment catches are not so easy in the modern contemporary residential segment, which is the only segment really we recommend these days. But there are a few gems. Generally, those gems are the smaller, more boutique projects.
Right.
Look at Dikilitaş.
Oh my God.
With the first 2 phases of roof, we did extremely well.
Yeah.
We were selling those units. Back in 2020, when COVID first hit, we were selling those units in Beşiktaş for 2-bedroom apartments, something like $270,000. Today, we're selling the same apartments for our clients for $500,000 to $600,000.
It's pretty hard to sell it at this level now, at this price level.
Well, we sold a few of them.
When I say we're selling it, we sell about 20, 30 a month. Yes. When I say we don't sell it, it's like 2, 3 a month, a few of them.
But the thing is, what really had excited us there is that where those 2 small boutique buildings, I think each one had 40 units in them, where they were located, full Bosphorus view. Right in front of it, you had a valley, and with tennis courts and a park. And the other side of the valley, you could literally throw a stone, was Nişantaşı Koru.
Oh, yes.
Nişantaşı Koru, a massive development project, residential project. I think prices currently there are $7,000, if not $8,000 per square meter.
It's ridiculous prices. 2-bedroom apartments would sell at 6 million euros or something.
And the thing, Alaattin, is
they put a pool on the balcony
on the terrace,
Yeah.
etc. Beautiful,
Yeah.
contemporary
Amazing.
quality.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is, what we sold at 1/5 of the price had the same view, the same size,
Same
and
location.
you could throw a stone from our balcony to Nişantaşı Koru.
I've done it. The stone couldn't reach, but if doable. That's all I'm saying. Doable.
So yeah, if
anyway,
you can find
yeah.
these gems, yeah.
Those projects were so good that the opportunity identification skills of ours are failing us now, that we cannot identify these opportunities there. We're slowly diverting into opportunity creation in those areas. And hopefully in the next few months, we might bring in some good and amazing news to our very own
In Şişli and
clientele.
Beşiktaş.
In Şişli and Beşiktaş. We're working on it. Cameron Deggin, lovely episode. Thank you very much for the advice.
Thanks a lot.
Guys, thank you very much for watching. With this WhatsApp number, you can reach out to us, and see you in the next episode.
See you.